Prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
5 years ago, I was like 12, maybe the first time we ever hung out, and it's funny that Zach said that it's because he made it because he was so buff, you know. One time he thought it was a really good idea to jump off. If you've ever been in my backyard, I have a really big swing, and it goes really far out, and there's a tree stump, and then I have a garage, and he thought it'd be really cool. I don't know why, but he jumped off. Yeah, trying to impress me. So he jumped off the garage and swung really far out. But then when he was coming back, he thought he was going to hit the wall. So he let go and slammed his back into our brick wall. And my parents didn't know him. It was the first time they met him. So they were like, no big deal. And I was like, no, Tyler's tough. He's actually really hurt. We should take him to the hospital. Something's wrong. But and then it ended up the doctor said that the reason he had worked out his back a lot, so the reason if he hadn't had such I would Kurt the Y every morning, so if he hadn't had worked out his back muscle so much, he would have had a lot worse results or whatever. That his exercise has saved him twice.
We would do these leg lifts and he playing like nothing. Brandon was there with us too every morning.
This past summer, was sort of the summer of the co-ed sleepovers at the Gilmore house. And Tyler was there a lot of nights. I mean, to the point that I would go, does your mom know where you are? Does she know that you're here all the time? And one particular morning, I guess must have been in town because I had an exceptionally large number of people spend. We have an exceptionally large number of people spend the night. And so I'm tiptoeing around the house the next morning, not wanting to wake anybody up because I didn't want to wake any grumpy teenagers up. And I go into the dining room, which is the one place I think I'm safe, and I get my laptop out and check email. All of a sudden I touch something hard and hairy underneath the dining room table, and it was Tyler's head. He was asleep underneath our dining table, and I'm like, why of all places are you under the dining table? And he said it was more comfortable in any of our beds or something like that. The place left asleep. And the other thing is, he's always hungry, always wants to come to our house to cook. And I'm sure Gene knows that too. So I was like, hey, go make spaghetti. So we love having him as a house guest. It's almost like having a son around the house.
And when I went to youth group in 8th grade, I was extremely uncomfortable. And one of the first times I ever talked to him, he tricked me into going into the boys' shower room. We're all boys showering together. And then this year, actually, on the way home to Kurt's house one time, he tricked me into kissing him. And then we went on beach retreat.
He's tricked lots of people.
I remember last June, I think it was the night before I preached my first sermon here, and the youth were doing something that night. We were staying in an apartment across town, and Tyler was driving, and I remember being on the cell phone with him, and I said, okay, Tyler, where are you going, and when are you going to be back, and where are you going first, where are you going next? I mean, these are our kids, we're in a new city, we wanted to know, and he just said, Mrs. PR, you're in the city now. We kind of figure things out as we go along. We just have to relax about it. Okay. And he was right.
I was saying, speaking about sleeping earlier this year. Jay and I were in Arizona, and for the Super Bowl, yes.
The Giants.
Go Giants. Giants won. And Tyler came up to visit with us, and we were hanging out. And he came up Friday night. We had dinner, and we were staying with Jay's mom's friends, so we really didn't feel comfortable, saying that Tyler could come and stay there because they were, very quiet and a little bit reserved, and the room was about as big as this space right here. So we couldn't ask Tyler to come stay with us, and we thought that he was going to stay with Petra, his girlfriend, and then I come to find out after dinner, he's like, no, I'm just going to spend the night in my car tonight. And I was like, where? And he said, yeah, I'm just going to spend the night in my car. And I was just like, well, where are you going to park the car? And I was so nervous, and I just, I kept telling Jay, I was like, we can't just let him spend the night in his car. We just can't let him do it. But Jay was like, just relax. It's Tyler. He's going to do what he wants to do, so you might as well just let him do it. And it just reminds me that Tyler's, always just going to do the things that make you just want to go, why are we doing this?
I don't really have a top 10 list of the absolute worst kids that have ever been in after school. He'd be on the list. And one of the things that's crazy is our way to manage that was we hired our accident survivor, Joe, before his accident, to come in and sit in a room with Tyler and one other kid every day. Joe needed something productive to do, and we needed to manage Tyler. So I feel like it's so crazy how all those puzzle pieces come together. And I feel like if I didn't have the hope that I got through Joe's recovery, then the situation might be more difficult. And so I thank you, Joe, for playing that part in my life and for being there to look after Tyler and help him stay here because we were on the verge of kicking him out. And I think that I would be a really different person, and all of us that know him well would probably be really different too. And so we're thankful for the place he has played in our life. We're thankful to God for placing Tyler there and the way that we have all been pieced together.
We're gathered here tonight to have a prayer service for our friend Tyler Cagle. We've Facebook messaged everyone we know, texted everyone we know, emailed everyone we know. And I really thank everyone for being here tonight. It's a big crowd. We can show the love, how much everyone loves Tyler. He's a great guy. Kurt wanted to say something about Tyler, and that we're thinking about him. So, Kurt.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with Tyler, and this past summer I kind of fought with him a lot. And I hope that he'll come back so we can make up sometime. And thanks everybody for coming. And at the end we're going to sing a little bit, and Jay and I are going to lead you.
Lord, prepare me